all I knew was I wanted to be a comedian. I couldn't afford college anymore. And, you know, I had a girlfriend and a job, and I was just, you know, I was 20 couple years old. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I tried to get into the Air Force, couldn't get in with my eyes. My uncle was trying to pull strings. He says, you don't go in as enlisted. He goes, you want to be an officer. You know, you make a career out of it.
Yeah.
Officers don't go to war. You know what I mean? Officers overlook the war. So I couldn't get in there. And I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with my life? So I went down to, this is gone too, Out of Town News in Harvard Square. Used to be this newsstand, newspapers from all over the world. I was looking in the Boston Herald, and for some reason, I don't believe in horoscopes, none of that bullshit. I decided to look through the horoscopes, and I looked through the horoscope, and my horoscope said, somewhere there's an audience waiting to see you perform.
Wow.
So I went down to Out of Town News, and I bought a LA Times and started looking for a job and a place to live. 2 weeks later, I was on a train to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Because I knew if I thought about it, I wouldn't go. I had too many friends. I mean, I could pick up the phone and have 10 different broads at my house. You know, I grew up here, you know? So I just left. Sold everything I owned, put the rest of my car, shipped my car out, jumped on a train. Never been out of the Northeast before. And I sat on a train cross country, and I got to see the country, and it was the greatest experience of my fucking life. I saw the sun come up in the desert, and I just met amazing people. Like, there was a whole bunch of it. We drank the train dry by the time we hit Albuquerque, and we tied up the bartender. We stuffed her in the closet because she was this Asian. I'll never fucking forget her. But we tied her up in duct tape and shoved her in the fucking closet. It was all a goof. Like, she was, you know, she's like, you motherfuckers. You know, they let us all back on the train. This is after they restocked like the train. And she said she wouldn't give us any more booze. No more booze. So she gave us White Zinfandel. The shitty White Zinfandel thing. Yeah. That's the only thing I got to drink, you little bastards. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. So I went, left the best place to develop as a comic, went to Sunset Boulevard, was walking down Sunset Boulevard, came across the Comedy Store, saw all the names on the Comedy Store. I went, oh, yeah, this looks right. So I went in, and there's a girl now. She opens for Dice. Her name's Eleanor Kerrigan.
Yeah. I know.
She was a waitress. She was a waitress there for like 25 years.
Wow.
And I asked her, I said, how do I get on stage? She goes, you a comedian? And I said, I'm fucking funnier than anybody in this place. I haven't written a joke yet. Hadn't written a joke. I had no idea how to write a joke. No idea what the fuck I was doing. So she goes, okay, open mic is on Sunday. Just come down and sign up, and they'll give you 3 minutes. I go, fucking 3 minutes? Fucking, I can't even say hello in 3 minutes. She goes, okay. That's my advice to you. Come down Sunday night. Still hadn't written a joke. Went up on stage. And 3 minutes is the longest time in the world when you have nothing prepared.
Wow.
And of course I bombed. I mean, it was horrific. It was an abortion. It was an abortion, Michael. Something unholy. But
so were you like, I'm just gonna figure it out on stage? I'm just gonna improv? Like, what was going through your mind?
Here's the people I was seeing. Like, Comedy Central had just started, and there was some different like comics on TV, but it was regular TV, so they had to be clean. I didn't know that. In 1986, I went and saw Sam Kinison at the Paradise, and I was like, I want to do that. I mean, people were banging their heads. They were laughing so hard on the seats. I'm like, I want to make people feel this way. I want to do what that guy's doing. And I ended up with backstage passes, and I'm in the bathroom, and the door kicks open, and here comes Dice and Kinnison in his fucking overcoat with his hat on and shit. And he swipes it out. He's taking a piss next to me. I said, hey man, do you have any advice for a young guy who wants to get into this? He goes, yeah. Go to Hollywood. Go to the Comedy Store and get a job working for Mitzi Shore. If you got anything, she'll take care of the rest. I was like, cool. Forgot about it. for years. So my first night at the Comedy Store, I had told a bunch of waitresses that I'm performing at the Comedy Store. Well, restaurant people, they come out in hordes.
Oh, no.
So like 50, 60 people showed up in the OR and they're chanting my fucking name. So Don Barris, do you ever heard of Don Barris?
No.
Another legend of the Comedy Store. He comes into the back where we all sit in the darkness and stuff, where the open micers are, just like shunned. And he said, "Who's Danny Boy?" And I raise my hand. I go, I am. He goes, "You're showcasing for Mitzi Shore." And I go, "Okay, I don't know what that means, but okay." So everyone's like congratulating me and everything. Like, "You got to showcase. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is a showcase." So I went up and bombed my fucking ass off, and that was my first time on stage was a showcase for Mitzi Shore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And long story short, it took me 7 showcases to pass.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you became a regular? How soon after?
I became an unpaid regular. Okay. Now, an unpaid regular, they were usually doormen or bartenders or, people who work there, like phone guys and stuff like that. They got 10 minutes on Sunday nights, prime time, before Brian Holtzman went up and closed the whole thing out. So we got 10 minutes on Sunday nights, which is fucking gold in Los Angeles, And if you were working the door and a comic didn't show up, you could go on. You could do fallouts.
Okay.
So guess what I was doing every night of the week? I was at the Comedy Store at 7:00, putting my name first on the list of fallouts. And I would stay there all fucking night waiting for somebody not to show up.
Yeah.
And that's how I got good, was bombing on the open mics at the Comedy Store for about 2.5 years. You'd go up at 2:00 in the morning. There's 3 people left. 2 of them are passed out drunk. I mean, it can be demoralizing. And that's how I got good. And then like these things I showed you, like she would put me up first. If you ever get the opportunity to pick where you go first.
Why?
Because it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
If you do that for 5 years, in 5 you're going to be so fucking far ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. I've been doing Bullet a lot recently. I
do it.
Shows, they throw me Bullet, and like I figure it out that it's a lot of work, but like
you're doing more work than anybody in the place.
Yeah.
Always do the Bullet. It's just going to make you fucking stronger. And you see these things. I was wedged between Dave Attell and Doug Stanhope.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's a tough for a young comic. I mean, they were already seasoned.
Yeah.
Dave Attell was a king of New York when he came out to New York, L.A. Doug Stanhope was a legend everywhere in the country except L.A. Seasoned, winning festivals and fucking, he was a fucking monster. This is before he got really sour and weird and, with the suits and stuff like that. He was an amazing comic. I used to get there early just to make sure I watched him.
I've watched a bunch of like old bootlegs of him. He had like the bucket of vaginas joke.
Yeah.
Which is so funny. A lot of his early stuff is actually really, really good.
It's amazing.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
like
the
stuff
shit
you'll only find on YouTube.
That's what I had to follow on a Monday night with 8 people in the audience.
Yeah.
And Dave Attell coming up next.
Yeah, that definitely fucking made you a better comic.
Definitely makes you better.
If that doesn't, I don't know what will.
Most comics want to go in the middle where it's nice and safe and have a good set. And, you want to cry on the way home. That's what's going to make you better. There's going to come a point where you're not doing the Bullet anymore because you're too fucking strong, or you're selling tickets, or you're the guy. You're the guy. When you walk in, everybody goes, "Oh, fucking Battick's here. Shit, who's going to follow him?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you get to that point, that's because of all the bullets that you did. You didn't take the safe spot. You got down there in the fucking dirt.
Yeah.
With fucking, Motley Crue, you know what I mean? You were dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's actually advice Brian gave me. He told me, because like before I ever really did comedy,
Yeah.
someone gave me like a free ticket to a comedy class.
Okay.
And Brian was running it.
Yeah.
And
Brian stole that from me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. Wow, full circle.
Well, I brought Brian in and I told him, I said, take the fucking bullet, dude. You need the bullet.
Yeah.
He goes, but I get people coming. I go, no. Bullet. Take the fucking bullet. Take your beatings now. It's just going to make you better.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's so much work, you know, because like I remember I did a showcase before where I was middle, you know, and like the room was already hot. They were already on my side.
Best spot in fucking show business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the best.
Yeah.
It is the best. The headliner, that's fun until they start check dropping you, and then it's not fun anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But you go up, if you're headlining and the feature lights the place on fucking fire, the headliners aren't fucking happy about it because now they got to work, you know?
Yeah.
Feature spot. Oh, if I could stay in the feature spot the rest of my life, I would. It's best. Go up to a half hour, crush the place, fucking grab a shot on the way out, and say, hey, see you later, fuckers.
Yeah.
It's great.
Is like the half hour, should that be like every comic school starting? Because I saw a thing, Greg Dean said, what you do when you start, you just got to build that half hour. He's like, once you have the half hour, you know, then you can go from there. But the half hour is the most important thing to build in your comedy career. Do you agree with that? Or like that's the biggest comedy goal for comics?
Maybe back when Greg wrote that, that might have been the thing.
Back in the 80s.
Now, I mean, half these people aren't even comics. They're popular on fucking YouTube or TikTok stars and stuff like that. They're like,
and they're doing Knicks.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. So really all you need right now is 5 minutes. 5 minutes and you can sell tickets.
Yeah.
Because you have so many followers. And they will show up.
Which, in my opinion, it's kind of sad. You know?
It is sad.
Yeah.
Like it's just become too easy to be a stand-up comic. It used to be hard, and that's why they were all so fucking good. So good.
Yeah. Now it's like this guy, you know, posts 5 reels and they all blow up, and it's just like stupid.
Yeah. And he's selling out the Comedy Connection for the weekend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he has 5 to 7 minutes worth of material, and then he's just like, all right, what do you guys want to talk about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sad.
It is.
That's the way it is now.
So after, you know, being in LA and like the Comedy Store, what made you want to move back to New England?
I had a manager, and he told me, you know, he looked at my tape and everything, and he was getting me on some stuff at the Laugh Act, some showcases and stuff. And he goes, dude, I was an impressionist.
Yeah.
That's
how
I started. So he said, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Boston. He goes, do yourself a favor and go back to Boston 6 months a year. He goes, there's tons of stage time. He goes, you need to develop. He goes, it's so hard to develop here doing, you know, 5 to 10 to 15 minute spots. You can't. And like when I became a regular at the Comedy Store, I was flailing up there. You know, look at these fucking lineups.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Dice, and then Pryor started coming in, and it's like, you got a fucking Rodney Dangerfield brought me up. Like, you got to fucking hold your own.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go up there and do new shit.
It's trial by fire.
Yeah. So it's very difficult to develop when you're doing that little time. I came here, bam, I'm doing half-hour spots and headlining just because I was from LA.
What year was this around?
This was like 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that much time. I had 20 minutes stretching. You know?
Yeah.
And then you start getting put on shows where it's just like, oh, you're a headliner. And it's just like, okay, let's start writing some fucking jokes, you know? figuring shit out.
Yeah, yeah. So that was so what was the Boston comedy scene like in like the early 2000s?
Oh, it's tremendous.
Oh yeah.
It was so good. There were so many clubs, so many places. Like Remington's was the legendary place. That was Dick Doherty's. It was a bar up top, and below was a small comedy room. It only held about 50 people, but it was fucking awesome. Small, they're all crammed in there. It was great. But what was cool about Remington's, you could go in there. It was comedy 7 nights a week. Nobody does comedy 7 nights a week anymore. You could go in there at any point, and there was a comic to hang out with. Always. And comics are a different breed. Comics like hanging out with other comics because they can say the most fucked up shit and not be shunned for saying it.
Yeah.
You're held in high regard for it. You know what I mean? And that's what was cool, was that comics had places to go. Now there's no place to go and just let loose and fuck up. Like, you can hear these legends now, you know, Jim Norton and all these guys talking about the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
Where they used to, you know, sit at the table and just fucking rip on each other and say just the most disgusting, awful things about their mothers and sisters, but they're friends. It was done with love. You know what I mean? There's no love amongst comics anymore.
Oh my, yeah.
There's not.
At all. Not at all.
And that's what I was trying to create at Tempo, was a place for comics to come and let their fucking hair down. Just be yourself, dude. Go up and do some new shit, give them some A-list stuff, but hang with the comics that are here, you know, and start making your network of friends, because regardless of where you go, you have to have a network. They all have their own cliques, and you have to break your way into those cliques. You're an outsider, so you got to break your way into them.
Yeah.
You know, it's in Boston, it's in Austin, LA, Long Island, completely different than New York City. Completely different comedy scene.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Completely different.
Interesting. Now, how, you know, looking at it, what it's become now, you know, what's your opinion on what the scene has become, like 2023?
Sad. Like we were saying, there's a lot of comics that aren't comics that are, you know, like Laugh Boston. It's a national headliner room, and then they get these young kids. They want them young over there, to open up for these guys, and it takes work away from me. I mean, I won't take the job anyway. Like $50, really? No, I'm staying home. You know, but they know that there's comics that'll take that money and want the stage time, you know, and they want to work with these people. Like, I want to work with these people too, but I want to do it under my conditions. But outside of that, it's a bunch of open mics. Even Nick's it's an open mic. Yeah. It's a booked showcase for comics. Nick's is a legendary comedy club. Used to have, it's a 3-man show. Used to have a 3-man show. Back in the 80s, they had 3 different rooms going. Just at Nick's. Down the street, Dick Doherty on the Improv, on the same street. And across the street, on the same street, was Duck Factory. That was another comedy club. I've heard the stories of the 80s comics. Saturday night at 2 a.m, they're $4,000 in their fucking pocket.
Yeah, yeah. And they would always like ask if you want it in like blow, right?
That was Nick's.
Nick's?
Yeah. Nick's would pay you with Coke if you wanted to. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But
I've heard the stories, man. I can't imagine, especially with what things are today.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hear stories and I'm like, that's Boston? That's Boston comedy we're talking about?
Boston was the best place.
Yeah.
The best place.
Wow.
And then you look at guys like Sweeney and, you know, you wonder why they never left. Why the fuck would they?
Yeah. They're already kings of the scene.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you want to go be, the new guy? You're making fucking, you know, 100 grand a year just driving around
and shooting the shit on stage.
Yeah.
That's the dream, man. Like that's the drive, you know, like the life that you can get out of this. But it's so like there's so much doom attached to it, especially with like what it is now.
Well, there's a lot of comics. They need to get out of the way. They need to stop doing comedy. Get the fuck out of the way. They fucking suck. You've been doing it for 4 years. You suck. You're not getting better. Some of them aren't even trying to get better. And they need to get the fuck out of the way because there's guys like you that want to get better. And you're taking stage time away from them. So there's I see a lot of that. Like
I don't want to, you know, prop myself up, but I totally see that. You know, you don't have to do comedy to know if someone sucks.
Yeah.
There's so many comics today. Like we were talking about Holtzman, like there's so many comics today that like are like, I'm just going to be the guy who does it right. And I just go on stage and talk. And they talk and they eat their dick on stage and they just never improve and they just keep doing that. It's like, what are you doing?
They're not interesting.
You know,
you can go on stage and talk, but you have to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a podcast. Does your podcast have to be funny? No, but it needs to be interesting. Joe Rogan's a shining example of that.
Yeah.
Nothing but comics. And then he branched out and it was just like, okay, people want to hear from these doctors and these fucking, you know, people from different things in life. Like every time he sits down, he's learning something. If he's learning something, then we're learning something, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'll put on a random podcast of somebody he has on that I've never fucking heard of. I don't even know what the fuck he does. And I find it fascinating because I never knew anything of that
like field or whatever, right?
That field. Yeah. You know, like, you know, he's got all the hunter guys on, which I'm kind of sick of listening to, but I mean, the first like 3 or 4 of them was just like, holy shit. Like this is so fucking interesting.
Yeah.
And then when he had, who's the crazy fuck? The guy from Detroit. Cat Scratch Fever. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Ted Nugent.
Ted Nugent. Dude, that guy is not out of his mind.
You don't think so?
That guy makes all the sense in the world. I listen to the podcast and I'm like, oh, he just has people that don't understand why you have to hunt and why this needs to be done like this. And you know, he's feeding the homeless with his hunting and stuff like that. Like,
is he Ted Nugent?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Go back and listen to him on, it's just like my take on him was completely different.
Yeah. He's someone I just do not like, you know, I get in arguments with people. I
don't like his music.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I don't like his music.
Because his music, I can see myself enjoying. It's just like him as a person. He just seems like such a fucking egomaniac.
Kind of not.
You know? Well, again, like I haven't, you know more.
But that's what's so cool about a podcast is you can learn something.
Yeah.
And I learned that. I'm like, no, Ted Nugent's just misunderstood. Misunderstood. I'll
go back and check that out. Now it's like, I agree with what you're saying. Cause like podcast is just like a conversation, you know, and in conversation, like I learned so much about you just talking to him. That's why what snowballed into what we're doing now.
Right.
We gotta fucking talk about this. The Tommy Lee story.
Which one? Me going to his wedding?
The wedding.
Oh, yeah.
One. Yeah. Oh, my God, man.
So this was like 86, 87. And I was hanging around down in Lansdowne Street. And this girl, her name is Lizzie Borden. Her name's actually Lizzie Borden. And her band was called Lizzie Borden and the Axes. And they were really good. They were a Boston band, really good.
I think I actually recognize.
Yeah. I mean, they used to play the Rathskeller and stuff like, I mean, they were in the scene. They were good. And she was a fucking sweetheart, but she was a lesbian. Didn't bother me. I didn't give a fuck. But she was really good friends with the Runaways, Joan Jett and Lita Ford.
Yeah.
So Tommy Lee invited them to his wedding. And she didn't want to bring a girl because, I mean, this was 86. Like, you couldn't do that. That's not cool, bringing gay couples and stuff like that. Like, that just didn't happen at that point, you know? Yeah. So she asked me if I wanted to go. And I'm like, wait, of course. Of course I want to go. Huge Motley Crue fan. And Heather Locklear? Okay. Yeah, I'm in. Fucking let's do this. When's the wedding? She's like, oh, we got to fly out. And I'm like, oh, fly. Where's you getting married? It's just California. Of course. It's in California. I was like, shit. I was 16 years old. So my mother wouldn't let me go. So I'm begging, I'm fucking pleading. And she goes, who is this guy? And then I had to put a fucking video on a fucking Motley Crue. No. And she's like, absolutely fucking not. No fucking way. And it was the same with David Lee Roth. I met Kiss 108 used to have these concerts, the Kiss 108 concert. And it's just a bunch of bands would come and do like 2 or 3 songs and like whatever. So this is like 87. And Heart was there. Oh my God, they were beautiful. The Wilson sisters. Oh, and a great fucking band. Underrated fucking band. One of the best rock singers and one of the best guitar players. Like, yeah, you can all go fuck yourself. Do your homework. They're amazing. So I remember they were there. Apollonia was there from Purple Rain, and David Lee Roth, who was doing California Girls. Just a Gigolo, like all that shit.
Yeah.
So I'm backstage at this thing, and in walks David Lee Roth. He's got, his spandex outfit on, and I'm just like, look at this bad motherfucker. And I was a huge Van Halen fan, so I'm just like, that's the fucking greatest front man in history. Right fucking there. You can't even argue it. He's the best.
Still to this day, you believe that?
Oh, for sure.
Really?
For sure. Name a better front man for a band. You got to think
I could probably think of a bunch. I don't know. David Lee Roth?
Fuck yeah.
Like what? Give me an example.
Of what?
What makes him I feel like we differ musically in some aspects. Like Metallica.
Yeah, for sure.
Metallica is like one of my favorite bands.
Who's the front man?
Dio.
Ronnie James Dio?
Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, he needs to stop.
Ozzy.
Ozzy's a great front man.
Yeah.
He's not David Lee Roth. You have the greatest guitar player that's ever walked the earth, and you're the front man for that band.
That's some shoes.
Yeah. And the drummer, kind of fucking awesome. Alex Van Halen, amazing fucking drummer.
Pretty good. Yeah.
He's an amazing fucking drummer.
Yeah.
So, and the greatest thing about Van Halen was they made heavy metal danceable.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's what made them superstars. It wasn't just the talent; it was they were changing music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just so interesting, and just as a kid waiting for the next Van Halen album to come out because you knew it was going to be fucking spectacular.
Well, you know the story of when they opened for Sabbath, right?
No.
They on the Never Say Die tour, they opened for Sabbath and buried Sabbath.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and this was like when they first started.
Yeah.
Like this was like their first like real tour, I guess. Some people say like it didn't really happen. Everyone I've talked to has seen the tour. They're like, oh,
I 100% believe.
Yeah,
100%.
And like it's my favorite band. Like even I can see that.
Yeah, Black Sabbath got lazy for a while too.
Yeah, they did.
They got really lazy. People, band members are coming in and out, and it's just like, hey, what are we doing here? Just can you guys stop? Like you're ruining your brand. You know what I mean?
Well, what happened? Tony Iommi wanted to go solo.
Yeah,
but the label was like, oh no. You're putting the fucking Sabbath name.
Ozzy's the only one that was a huge success solo.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks to Sharon.
Huh?
Thanks to Sharon.
Yeah.
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 Which I have
gets a lot of
opinions on her, but
There's a lot of opinions on her, but she is
Yeah.
no idiot. No fucking idiot at all. But did you listen to the Howard Stern thing when it came out that she fucked Randy Rhoads
no.
and Ozzy didn't know? Oh yeah, you got to find that. He's he's devastated.
Ozzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He's
can
like,
see why.
You fucked Randy. Sharon, you fucked Randy. She's like, yeah, I thought you knew. You fucked Randy? Like he was hurt. This is all happening live on the Howard Stern show.
This all happened live.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh,
How do I not
yeah.
how have I not heard this?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I've got something to listen to on my car ride.
Yeah. You got to find it,
wow.
man.
Wow. Well, I'll be honest, the ratio between Sharon and Ozzy, I feel like, she's a little justified with the amount of women Ozzy slept with,
100%. All these fucking guys. Like even Van Halen, who I have on such a high pedestal. I call him the greatest guitar player of all time, and I don't even think it's arguable.
I can respect
It's not
that.
even
I
arguable.
can respect that.
For the simple reason this is that they now make guitars off the assembly line because of Eddie Van Halen. What he did with Frankenstein, the guitar Frankenstein.
Yeah.
From what he did with that guitar, they now make guitars because of the way he built his guitar.
What a legacy.
That's revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like he changed shit. Did Jimmy change shit? No, it was new, but his body of work is not that big.
Hendrix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, he
not
never
that
really
big.
lived long enough to extend it.
Yeah. People say, oh, had Jimmy lived. Well, that's not the way the music industry works.
Yeah. Well,
People have two great albums and then they fucking turn into fucking, Air Supply. Like, what the fuck happened here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like the Stanhope bit where he's like, maybe they died at the right time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But and I love Hendrix, don't get me wrong, but I think Little Wings is his best song. Most people say all along the Watchtower and stuff. Fuck that shit.
I don't know what I would call his best song. That's hard.
I like Little Wing.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
A lot of people say I had this journalist on the podcast once, Martin Popoff, and he said Hendrix was the one who like invented heavy metal, like the guitarist who did it. And I've
always attributed Sabbath as the godfathers of heavy metal.
Yeah, well, that was the first like metal album.
Yeah.
But I know what he means. Like if you listen to those bootlegs and just the stuff he was doing, his fuzz was like no other.
Oh, he changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was doing something that had never been done before.
Yeah.
A lot of he used to play with his teeth. It's like, I'm not talking about that shit, you fucking dummies. You know what I mean?
The school talent show shit.
Just the sound that he was doing, and he didn't create the sound. He just did the sound. Eddie Van Halen created the sound. You know what I mean? Yeah. And Eddie's body of work is just so much fucking bigger than Hendrix.
Yeah.
And then, like if you read these Billboard and Rolling Stone and top guitar players and stuff like that.
They always put Hendrix.
They always put Hendrix. Yeah. It's because they don't want to argue with people. I'll argue with them. Eddie Van Halen's the best guitar player of all time. But then they'll put in like fucking Neil Young and George Harrison, and I'm just like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah.
They're not even in the same league with Hendrix.
Yeah.
Not even fucking close.
Yeah.
But what about Eric Clapton? What about him?
I think Clapton is like the most overrated guitar player.
He's good.
I can name 100 guitarists better than him that people
good.
don't even know.
Do you know why they call him a slow hand?
Why?
You don't know?
No.
Because he can change the strings on the guitar while he's still playing it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with blues or anything like that.
He's just a really good technician.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a great roadie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's a good guitar player. Top 10? Nope.
Not
Top
at all.
25? Nope. Top 50? Nope. Top 100? Yeah, you could probably squeeze him in somewhere, you know?
You can argue it.
Yeah. Neil Young, guy's got a face like a diaper. He can't fucking sing. And I've never heard any guitar lick come out of that guy that was just like, wow. Wow. That guy can play.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I respect what you. I respect it. I know he put out this album, Weld, I think it is, a live album. I'm not sure.
Who,
if you
Neil
know it.
Young?
Neil Young.
I won't listen to it.
And there was a song that was, and it's like Motorhead fuzz on it, and he does play some stuff where it's like, whoa, I didn't know he can do that.
Do you know he was so pissed off because he couldn't get into the Monkees?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
I totally
They
forgot
brought
about
him
that.
down from Canada to be in Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
What a
because
nightmare that would have been.
none of those guys could sing in Crosby, Stills, and Nash. So he said, we need a fucking singer. How the fuck Neil Young got into this conversation? That guy sings like a Muppet. Like he sucks.
A lot of folk singers, you know, not the
Harvest Moon. He's not even a good fucking folk singer. If you want to do folk, you go John Denver, Dylan. You know what I mean?
Dylan,
yeah. Another one I don't get, but I understand why people get them. I just don't get them.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's a can of worms that, like, if it's something where I just go no comment.
Yeah.
You know, it is just such a deep iceberg.
Yeah.
That is
I like
that guy's effect on music. His
one song I
discography.
like by him.
What?
Just one. Tangled Up in Blue.
I don't think I know it.
Yeah, you do. Because Hootie and the Blowfish ripped him off.
Oh.
I only want to be with you.
Oh yeah, I know that
Tangled
one.
up in blue. They actually ripped off all the music, all the melody, like everything. It's Tangled Up in Blue.
So there's so many artists. You know, to bring it back to Clapton, there's this guitarist, Tommy Bullen. He lived to only be like 27. He put out a record the year before Slow Hand, and there's a song that's literally the cocaine riff.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll play it for you after. It's like, because I got the record.
Yeah,
and people were telling me, listen to this guy, put it on, and my jaw dropped. I'm like, no fucking way.
My jaw dropped when I heard all the stuff that fucking Led Zeppelin did.
Yeah.
All the stealing that they did.
I still don't even know all of it.
Because pound for pound, they're the greatest band of all time. As far as you got the drummer, you got the guitar player, you got the fucking singer, their bass player, John Paul Jones, he's in fucking Mad Dog, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, pound for pound, they're there with Van Halen. I mean, they had everything. Like, John Bonham is like the greatest drummer in rock fucking history. It's not even an argument. Like, he was doing shit that nobody even fucking thought of, you know what I mean? And their music was so fucking good. And then it comes out that, oh, they stole all that shit?
Yeah.
And then you start thinking, nah, they didn't steal my favorite song. It's just like, did they? It's so disappointing,
Most
you know?
likely, yeah.
But Jimmy Page, amazing fucking guitar player.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Put him ahead of fucking Hendrix.
Really? Page?
Jimmy Page, oh, for sure. Again, body of work.
Yeah. Those, besides Coda, and even Coda, you know, people shit on that a lot. I don't mind it.
Coda's a good album.
Yeah. It's like that, even that first record, like every member contributed so much. Like, even, you can't even say that about the Beatles.
Yeah.
Because, you know, listen to How Many More Times off Zeppelin 1, where it's that bass line and everything just is so connected.
Yeah.
And it just sounds, it's everything just flows so well in the chemistry.
They were perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like Rush. Perfect.
Yeah. It just sucks that, you know, because they ripped off the Spirit song. I'm not sure if you know the band Spirit. They're like this prog psych band. Oh, they brought them on the road before Zeppelin 4 came out.
They brought him on the road and stole their shit. They Carlos Mencia him.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And you know what song? It's a Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah, yeah.
You listen to that Spirit song,
Yeah.
same opener.
Yeah.
Do, do, do,
Yeah.
do.
And they said, no, it's a common fucking,
Just a coincidence, you know, they were on tour with us before,
it's
you
the
know,
most
parallel
common
thinking.
chord progression that there is. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like I've always hated that song until Bonham comes in. Like the words, I don't know what the song is about. It makes absolutely fucking no sense.
I don't think they even know what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what was great about the music that I grew up with was heroin.
The Moody Blues.
That's what made music fucking awesome was drugs, you know? Anyone you can think of was either on coke or fucking heroin, and the music was fantastic.
Yeah.
Who's doing it?
That's
now?
No one. That's it's in Greta Van Fleet, you know, sober, and it's the Bill Hicks bit where it's like, you know, if you're against drugs, take every album you own, and burn them,
and and throw it out. Yeah, I completely agree. The fact that Keith Richards is still alive is, how do you tell your kids not to do drugs? It's supposed to be really good. I haven't heard it, but it's supposed to be really good.
I know. Like, again, like I've told you this. I work at a record store. People come in all the time. They're like, "Yeah, you have the new Stones."
Yeah.
No, they're like, "Oh, like best record they put out in like over 20 years."
Yeah.
You know?
I was growing up. I was like the biggest Stones fan, the biggest fucking Stones. I still do.
Vinyl got me into them.
Who?
Vinyl. Because like
vinyl records.
Vinyl records.
Yeah.
Because like, well, now it's like, you know, you get into it. It's like a niche thing, vinyl. Now, back then it was like, you know, that's what you do. You just go to the record store.
Yeah.
You want to listen to new music, you buy a record. Now it's like you just get streaming, do whatever you want. It's all singles.
No, you gotta get
Where
the
like,
record.
you know, I went to this record store, this guy at Cheap Thrills in Denham. This guy Rob Walsh. He used to be the manager of Tower Records.
Oh, okay.
So he's met everyone.
Sure.
You know. He's like, have you heard Exile on Main Street?
Oh,
I go, no.
Amazing.
He gets a first press mint copy. He goes, take this home. You know?
Ooh.
I remember I went to my dorm. Me and my roommate, we put that on, changed our lives.
As it should.
We were sitting there going, whoa. You know, and then we were playing the Stones every night.
Yeah. Sticky Fingers.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
yeah.
And then you get to Tattoo You.
Tattoo You.
I mean, they were still fucking crushing it on Tattoo You.
Yeah. Yeah.
Undercover.
Even their first record's good. Their debut.
They're all good.
Yeah.
They don't have a bad record.
Even their 90s stuff.
I found a few gems out of those. Dirty Work.
Yeah.
You fell out of the clear blue sky.
Yeah.
But they were always
Dirty Work.
like there's a song Had It With You that's off of that record. And it's good. But what's amazing about them is they've always kept the same fucking sound. 5 decades.
Yeah, that is
true.
true.
It's the fucking Stones.
It's not like Neil Young with Trans. Do you know his album Trans?
No.
Where it's like his Kraftwerk attempt.
Yeah.
It is the worst, the absolutely worst album. And it's like, just stick to your sound.
Yeah.
Evolve your sound on your own. Don't, looks like this sells.
Yeah.
So let's just do this.
Yeah.
Like, that is the death of every single band.
I went and saw Bruce over the summer. Again, completely blown away. I actually cried during the show.
I believe it.
They did. He did Night Shift by the Commodores, and listened to it on the way home. And you listen to the gospel singers. He has like he redid it. He just didn't do the Commodores thing. Like he made it better. And I was listening to it, and just these gospels. I'm like, for 4 or 5 minutes, there was no racism, and the world was a better place.
The man.
Just that one song. And like when that song came out, I was like, it's a nice song. I don't really get it, but it's a nice song, whatever. And then Bruce did it, and I'm just like, how the fuck does he do it? He makes shit better.
Yeah.
Listen to
I
it.
envy that, because it's like I just was never really able to get into them.
You should, dude.
I think I got Born to Run. I played it. Like I enjoyed it. I liked the other one better that he put out. Oh, what's it?
Darkness.
Darkness
Yeah.
at the edge of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I prefer that one.
Yeah.
I think I just got to spin them again.
You got to shit, dude. You could. All of his latest albums are fucking, I think, better.
Real, like his newest one.
It's got. I've only heard 3 songs off of it, and 2 of them are really good. Not Born to Run good, but they're really fucking good. Like if radio was still a thing, they'd be on the radio.
Yeah.
All the time, you know.
Well, radio's dead, unfortunately. So
no. Well, yeah.
You know, I originally, like, I went to school for radio.
Yeah.
I did radio in high school. I had my own radio show. That's what this whole thing is. Like, I just wanted to. I miss it.
Yeah.
You know, I miss having people on and playing. Well, I can't play music on this. But,
Right.
I used to work at iHeart. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I used to work at iHeart.
Are they still
Radio.
a thing?
Oh yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah. Yep. All automated. It's and a lot of what's it called? Where they pay the station to play shit.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. I'm blanking on it.
Cheating.
yeah. That's the word.
They did that in the 80s, like when the radio was so fucking brutal to listen to, because there's like Buster Poindexter. Why am I hearing this guy 5 times a day? Who is requesting this fucking song? It is fucking god awful. And then you find out years later that the record companies are fucking paying these people to keep playing their.
It's called payola. That's what it was.
Payola.
Payola.
It's fucking cheating.
There's a Dead Kennedy song where instead of My Sharona, they call it My Payola.
Yeah.
And they do a parody of it.
The Knack.
The Knack.
The Knack.
Or one good album.
One
good album. If I had $1 for every time I saw that fucking record floating around.
Really?
Oh yeah. So many people had it back in the day. Not that people are trying to get rid of it.
Right.
But we're in the era now where, like, if that's 70s, a lot of people are dying off.
Yeah.
And then their record collections, you know.
Yeah.
And at the store I work at.
So like Depeche Mode's making a fucking comeback. I'm just like, they sucked in the 80s. Like, who the fuck is still buying Depeche Mode? Who are these people? What do you mean you're going on tour? Are you playing Knicks?
Yeah.
Like, how are you fucking selling tickets?
Oh my God. You know what? It sucks for me because, like, I'm 25, so I'm playing catch up with all these bands.
Here's a band to play catch up with.
Who?
Over the summer, I was lucky enough. I went as a goof, but I went to see one guy. We saw Styx, REO Speedwagon, and Loverboy. And I got to see Tommy Shaw. And fuck, God, when he was 18 years old when that album first came out. And he was fucking
what
immaculate then. Paradise Alley?
Are we talking Styx?
Styx, yeah.
I can't fucking stand Styx.
Dude.
I can't do it. My coworker, my manager, is obsessed with Styx.
Yeah. I'm not obsessed with them, but back in the day, like when they were doing rock music, Tommy Shaw was fucking for real.
My introduction to Styx was Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, see, that's
and
wrong.
I turned around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going to look back.
Yeah.
See,
that fucked me too, because my introduction to Aretha Franklin was "We Going Riding on the Freeway." I'm like, she's a legend.
Forgot about that
well,
one.
Fucking, she must be stopped. My introduction to Stevie Wonder was "I Just Called to Say I Love You." I'm like, did a 5-year-old write this song? This guy's a genius. What are you fucking kidding me? This guy's terrible, you know? So I get where you're coming from when your introduction to the band.
And even the vocals, I just can't do, you know.
Dennis
and
DeYoung's
it's very just, it's kind of like wishy-washy, you know, the songwriting.
Some of it.
I just can't get behind it.
But like Renegade and stuff, that's fucking so good.
Renegade, you know, I can, if I'm alone in a room, you know, I can, you know, jam out to that.
You got to turn up. You got to turn up.
I can admit it. I can admit it. But everything else.
An Angry Young Man.
I don't think I know that one.
It should be such an... That's not the name.
In my defense, I haven't listened, or in your defense, I haven't listened to like a full Styx record.
Yeah.
Like I haven't sat down and put one on. It was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm just gonna.
At the time, Paradise Alley was the biggest selling album of all time.
Yeah.
So, and that was broken by Peter Frampton. Broke that, and then Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah. Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that a billion times.
Never liked him.
Never. That's one I can't get into either.
Never
that
liked
album,
him.
Frampton, like any of his stuff.
Yeah, none of it I like.
Yeah.
But what was cool was, God, this was late 80s. I got to go see Stevie Nicks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she was fucking great. Her guitar player is Peter Frampton.
Yeah.
Like she brought real musicians.
What year was that?
88, 89.
Oh, that must have
maybe?
been incredible.
Yeah.
That must have been incredible.
Yeah.
It sucks, man, because like, you know, Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands. Like Animals, I played a billion times in college, and it's like I saw Roger Waters was on tour. I'm like, all right, closest thing, I'll see to it. You know, thank God. You know, it's crazy because the classic thing was like take mushrooms, go see Pink Floyd.
Right.
You know, I go there and the show's barely started, and Roger Waters, and it's like a jumbo. Like we're at TD Garden, and it's a jumbotron. And he's showing like police brutality. And he's showing like people getting shot and stuff. I'm like, Jesus Christ, thank God I'm not like tripping right now. Or I'd be like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, like every song was like just the most horrendous shit on screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I get it. You know, but like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I never liked Pink Floyd.
Really? At all?
No.
What was your like exposure?
Another brick in the wall.
Another brick in the wall. That's a banger. I like it.
There's a couple songs that I do like Run Like Hell.
Yeah, that's off the wall.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Animals at all?
Maybe. I don't know. Like
every song is like 15 minutes.
I never owned a Pink Floyd record. And they're like Grateful Dead to me. Like if you have to get fucked up to enjoy the band, are they really that good? Like, I'm sure people that have listened to Grateful Dead, like not fucked up, went, wow, they kind of suck. They kind of suck.
Yeah. I like the Dead. I like the Dead. I'm not obsessed with them, but like their first few albums are really good. Like American Beauty. You must know that one. Like Ripple, Truckin'. On that, you know what I think it is? You know what I think it is? There's so many people I talk to who hate these songs. And I think it was just the radio play. A lot of these got, because I heard Truckin' was just always on the radio, and that's probably
Touch of Grey.
Yeah, and probably Another Brick in the Wall.
Oh yeah,
you know, what are some Dark Side song? Money was probably
ding, 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 ding. Ugh, fucking gross. But there's a great song that Pink Floyd did called Mother, which is a great fucking song.
So good.
Mother, should I build the wall?
Have you listened? Do you like that record at all? That album? Because that album is like fantastic.
I respect it.
Yeah.
But
like the ideas behind it are so interesting.
Yeah. I'm not buying it, but I respect it.
Yeah.
You know, Dark Side of the Moon, I just don't care. I didn't care.
I can't. If that's in my opinion, it's so close to being a perfect album. If it wasn't for fucking time, if it wasn't for, have you listened to that song? That song Time,
maybe,
where it's the clock and then it plays all of the alarm.
Oh
clocks.
Yeah, that's fucking brutal. Yeah,
I can't do it.
I have a standing rule. If you have sound effects in the song sucks. Okay.
You're compensating for something.
Yeah, just stop it.
Yeah.
Like the Money song with the cash register.
Chings and stuff. I kind of like that. Have you heard the new version?
Completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Let the song stand on its own fucking merits. You don't need, you know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I wanted to ask you? I was thinking about this when you were coming over. Do you know what the first metal song to go to #1 was?
Come On, Feel the Noise.
Very good. Yeah. Very good.
No, I know.
Rock in the Suburbs, man.
Yeah.
Rocked in the suburbs.
If I have a metal podcast, I've got to know.
Yeah.
My stuff.
Yeah, they were. Have you seen the documentary?
No.
A Quiet Riot?
No.
It's the saddest, funniest thing that you have to see.
Didn't like 2 of the members kill themselves, or is that another band?
I don't fucking know. The drummer, I think it's the drummer, who's trying to keep Quiet Riot going, and they keep having different lead. They've had like 30 different lead singers since Dubrow died.
Yeah, now there's no original members. They tour now, and there's not a single original.
You got to see the documentary. It's first of all, they only had 3 songs that were worth a fuck. The rest of it is complete garbage. Complete garbage.
It's really that one record that was like, really groundbreaking.
Mama, we're all crazy now. That was on their second album. And then they were done. That was it. Then Def Leppard hit and was just like, we'll show you who the real heroes are. You know what I mean? And I got fucking problems with Def Leppard too.
Yeah, I do too.
Conspiracy theories, man.
Really? Seen like conspiracy?
You ever seen the cover of Pyromania?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 buildings with a bullseye.
You think Def Leppard did 9/11?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then they come out with Pour Some Sugar on Me. All of a sudden, everybody's got diabetes. Hmm?
Yeah.
Makes you think.
Makes you think. It makes me worried for that next album.
These are jokes, folks.
Yeah.
But the biggest shame was Steve Clark dying.
Mm.
He was a great guitar player. Again, better than a lot of the guys we've mentioned earlier. He was awesome.
They're good. That's Def Leppard. That's like British New Wave. Like they came up with like Maiden and stuff, right? Yeah, Def Leppard.
81.
Yeah,
81.
Yeah. They came up with like Saxon, Iron Maiden.
Yeah. So I never liked Iron Maiden. I thought they were silly. Run to the hills, run.
That shit's my religion.
Alistair Fiend, and I was just like, you guys are just silly. You're just silly.
I eat all that stuff up.
My friend in high school, he fucking loved Iron Maiden. And I'm just like, it's too heavy for me, man. It's too heavy for me.
Yeah.
But the album
covers still going.
are great. What was cool about vinyl was the album covers. Like it was artwork, you know?
100%. Yeah. The amount of stories, I've said this before on this podcast, where it's like the amount of stories where like, I'll ask someone like, hey, how'd you get into the music? And they go to that record store, and they see that first Iron Maiden album where it's like just Eddie, it's just his head, and they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I'm bringing this home.
Yeah.
And then from there, their life's ruined,
But what was great was like growing up, sitting around waiting for the next album of your favorite band to come out because, we had Men Without Hats and Vanilla Ice and stuff like that. It was like one-hit wonder stuff.
Garbage.
But like, it's still better than the shit they're putting out now.
What? Men Without Hats?
Just Safety Dance?
Safety Dance?
I'll put that up against anything that's fucking going on right now. Anything.
That's a good song.
At least,
I used to have a radio show in high school. We used to play that all the time.
It's a great, happy song.
Yeah.
You ever seen the video with the midget running
midgets,
around? Fucking, dude, that guy
little
was
people. Is that
fucked out of his mind, dude. But it was great sitting around waiting for the next album to come out because it wasn't just the music; it was the album. Have you ever seen the album Through the Past Darkly by the Rolling Stones? It's like an octagon.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck does that? And they're all pressed up against the glass and stuff. Like, that was part of the fun, was the actual fucking album.
Yeah, isn't there like a Jethro Tull one where like it folds out? I think Jethro Tull is one.
There's a pop-up one.
Yeah, there's a pop-up one. There's a Uriah Heep one where it's like a mirror, and like I think it's called Look at Yourself.
I think Sticky Fingers is the greatest album
you
of all
cannot
time.
beat that. You cannot beat that.
Who
in
thought
terms
that
of the sleeve?
We're going to put a zipper on it. And like,
yeah.
Again, heroin, man. Yeah. Bring it back into music.
That's probably the best album's like vinyl sleeve ever.
Yeah.
Can you even think of another one that goes against that? I think the Stones are kind of like revolutionary in that sense.
Yeah, all of their album covers did not suck.
Yeah, well, the original goat head soup was a little rough.
What with the
With the goat in the. Did you see like the original cover?
No, I've never seen
It's
that.
like well, that's cool. Where it's like
mixed
face. Yeah, yeah. Or the
like
original
pulled
cover
back?
was like a soup and like a goat's head sticking out of it.
Oh, yeah, they should have went with that.
It's kind of it's probably sell.
You ever seen the cover to Get Your Yayas Out?
Yeah,
With Charlie Watts
Yeah.
fucking dancing.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's
iconic
It's fucking
on
great.
itself.
Yeah.
What about the Beatles? I think they had some good ones. A lot. I know people who think like Abbey Road sucked as a cover, just like them crossing the street. You know.
Oh, I thought it was clever.
Yeah.
It was good. I thought the Beatles' White Album was genius.
Yeah.
Just make it all white and up top
Just a little
just write
stamp.
the Beatles.
Yeah.
Fucking genius.
Yeah.
Another genius one was Slippery When Wet, Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah.
They wanted him to put it in pink neon. And he's like, no, I'm not putting pink neon on my fucking album cover. Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm not doing it.
What even is that? My roommate played that religiously. I'm
He
trying
said
to
it-
remember what that even looks like.
What he did was he got a garbage bag, put a bunch of water on it, and wrote Slippery When Wet with his finger.
Oh wow.
That's the album
Wow.
cover. That's balls right there.
Yeah.
That's
That's how you
balls.
fucking do it.
Yeah.
I think it's keep talking about Dead Kennedys. Jello Biafra, the singer, has this famous thing where he's like, you got to make sure it's a good band name and it's a good album cover. You have to put
So
in effort
important.
into that.
Yeah.
It is so important.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many bands who just put out fucking stinkers, and it's like,
Yeah.
and it sucks. You know, I wish. Oh, we were talking about the Stones. What's your opinion on because we were saying like they have like a great discography.
Yeah.
Satanic Majesty's Request.
They don't have a bad album.
She's a Rainbow. That's a good song.
It's a great song.
What about the rest of it though?
If you bring it up and I could look at it, like I haven't looked at that shit in years.
Yeah.
You know? Like I can barely remember what songs are on different albums. There's Satanic Majesty Request.
Yeah, all I know
The
is
album cover
She's
where
a
it says
Rainbow.
Welcome the Beatles, or
It's the one where it's
No,
like
it's the Beatles
it
that did
looks
Welcome
like
also.
it kind of is like their own version of
Sgt. Pepper's.
Magical Mystery Tour
Yeah.
where
yeah.
where like one of them's dressed as a fucking like wizard.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. But they don't.
It's not a bad record by any like real means. It's
They
just,
don't
like,
have
weird.
a bad record.
It's more like Psych.
Was 2001 on that?
I don't know.
All right, we gotta look this fucking shit up.
Satanic Majesty's Request. I'm curious. I forget when that must have been like an 80s record. I know She's a Rainbow's on that, which is really good. Like even if you call that a bad record, you know, that song alone, I think, you know, makes it worth existing.
There's Satanic Majesty's Request. All
Okay.
right, what the fuck is on this? She's a Rainbow, Gomper, in Another Land. Sing this all together. Yeah, 2,000 Light Years from Home. That's on that. That's a fucking great
I
song.
can't recall that one.
Yeah. Another Land. Sing together. On with the Show. That's a good song. Citadel. I don't remember a lot of this.
Yeah,
But She's a
I'll have to
Rainbow.
revisit it. It's a weird record, you know, if you compare it to the rest
They
of
took
their
chances,
discography.
which is what great bands do, is they take chances. And
Yeah.
like, I'm not a Beatles fan. I don't even consider them a rock and roll band,
The Beatles?
but they took chances.
What do you consider them as?
I don't know. They were clearly bubblegum when they first came out, you know.
Yeah.
It was great bubblegum, but
They just evolved so much. It's really hard to pinpoint. A lot of people say they like were the first band to like really do like the first prog song, you know, with I think Abbey Road. It was like the first attempt at prog. like with different time signatures and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. And then Magical Mystery Tour is like psych, I guess.
Yeah, it's really weird.
You know, it's really kind of impossible to
Have you ever
pinpoint.
seen the movie the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus?
No.
Oh, you're gonna see that.
It's on my list. I know that one.
It's got John Lennon on stage with fucking Keith Richards and
Oh,
Meg
really? Yeah, I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
The amount of shit I just need to watch. You know, because it's like
It's
I'm playing catch up.
But you're talking psychedelic and weird. You watch this fucking thing and you're like, first of all, the audience it's these people in a tent. And they all have the same like outfit on, like slickers, and they have these hats.
Yeah.
And it's fucking so goddamn bizarre. And I think Harrison was there, or maybe it was Clapton. It's so hard to describe. It's so fucked up. If you watch it sober, you would think that you're tripping. It's so weird, but it's so good.
What's it called?
The Rolling Stones. I think it's called The Circus.
Circus.
Yeah.
I think I have that one beat.
Yeah.
What's it called? Head. I think it's the Monkees movie.
No.
Have you heard about that?
No.
The Monkees made a movie.
Really?
And it's like the most trippy, makes no sense. You know, it makes Yellow Submarine, you know, look like a Steven Spielberg film.
Really?
You know, yeah. It's like I've never like really truly watched it. I've seen clips of it, and it's so freaky. It's like freaky.
I like the
It's like
Monkees.
David Lynch.
Oh, really?
Freaky. Yeah.
I saw the Monkees
You saw them?
live, yeah, with Grassroots and Grand Funk Railroad.
My boss is in a Monkees tribute band.
Is he really?
Yeah. Loose Salute.
What's it called?
Loose Salute.
Loose Salute.
It's a reference to a Mike Nesmith thing. I don't like the Monkees. I just can't, you know.
For the mid '60s.
I've listened to like Trains to Clarksville or whatever 1,000 times. Daydream Believer, you know, and I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like,
how about She?
I don't think I have.
She told me that she loved.
Oh
me.
yeah.
That's a great song.
yeah.
Not Your Stepping Stone. Fucking great.
Not My
song.
Stepping Stone. Isn't that that's not a cover, right?
Yeah, most of their stuff has been written by other people. Like,
Yeah,
Neil Diamond wrote Daydream Believer.
I met one of their ghostwriters recently.
Oh, really?
Bill Chadwick.
Wow.
Bill Chadwick wrote like a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I went to a convention because I was working it. My boss was doing a show, and there Mickey Dolenz was there, with his like 5 security guards.
Did you ever read Weird Scenes in the Canyon?
I've never even heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to get this book immediately.
It's a book.
Immediately, yeah. It'll give you an education on how crooked the fucking record industry is.
Oh yeah.
But it's about Laurel Canyon and all these people who were hanging out in Laurel Canyon, lived there. You know, Zappa was like the king of fucking Laurel Canyon. But Zappa invented the hippies. He would have these girls come down to the shows and dance around like a bunch of fucking freaks and stuff like that. And that's where like the hippies started from.
Wow.
But it has literally the Eagles, fucking Fleetwood, everybody was in Laurel Canyon. And
I've never even heard of that place.
Laurel Canyon Boulevard, you've never heard of it?
Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's where it was, Laurel Canyon. You got to get this book, dude. But what was my point with it? Oh, the Monkees. The Monkees were in Laurel Canyon, and I guess Peter Tork and Mike Nesmith were highly respected songwriters, like highly respected, and they came out of New York. Like a lot of these people came from New York to LA because that the music scene had switched to LA. So they all came out here, like the Mamas and the Papas song, California Dreaming, is how the fuck's it go?
Yeah,
Stopped
I'm
into a
blanking.
church. We passed along the way. Well, I forget it, but the whole thing was they went to Jamaica for like the 3 or 4 months, and they came back to New York, and everybody was gone. Everybody got signed, and they were gone to fucking LA, and they were like, "We fucked up. Like, we were out smoking dope in fucking Jamaica, and we weren't here for the whole movement." You know what I mean? And that's what that song is about. California Dreaming.
Yeah. Wow. It's crazy in music, so many movements that were so defining and swept up so many bands.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like so many bands were never really able to capture the stuff they put out in certain movements.
Yeah.
In metal, this happened all the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Metallica came up. Motley Crue was even like in the Bay Area, I think, a little bit when they started. And I know they had like rivaled Metallica and stuff.
Rivaled?
Oh yeah, they hated each other.
Really?
Oh well, that's because we're talking glam metal versus like thrash metal,
Right.
where thrash metal is just all
Motley
denim.
Crue was not glam metal. They're
They're
not. All the bands that ripped off Motley Crue were glam. Motley Crue wasn't glam. They were originally
what
Satanists.
would you call them? Satanist.
Yeah. Yeah, Too Fast
Motley
for Love
Crue.
and Shout at the Devil. Yeah, they were seen at different satanic churches, stuff
Wow.
like that. Like they were dabbling.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they were dabbling.
Yeah. Well, if only Tipper Gore knew, she'd have a lot more ammo.
For what?
That whole, remember the 80s and the whole Tipper Gore movement where like Motley Crue, Metallica, so many bands. It was the whole thing where parents didn't want that the kid killed himself after listening to an Ozzy record.
Oh, for God's yeah, it's fucking so stupid.
Yeah. Now it's like bands come out and they're like, yeah, we love Satan. We're Satan worshipers,
Yeah.
you know. It's now it's like, thank God, you know. The comedy, it's kind of weird how things have shifted, because like on the plus side, at least like it's not like Lenny Bruce days,
Right.
or like the 80s where like you really like there was still kind of a bit of eggshells to walk around, I feel.
In
Where
comedy?
maybe not comedy.
Not
Not
comedy,
comedy,
no.
but in music.
Well,
in comedy, I feel like the 80s was the most free, even freer than it is now.
Oh, they were pushing the envelope fucking big time. Big time.
Maybe, can you argue the 90s even more?
Even more what?
Even more like just balls to the wall, you know, whatever, pushing the envelope. I feel like
Late 80s, early 90s.
yeah,
When
even
Dice
early 2000s maybe, with
Nah.
like some of the Carlin stuff coming out, where you know the one you put out, like the thing after 9/11, where he's like, I love when a lot of people die, and then 9/11 happened like the next day or something.
Oh, I don't remember that. Carlin, I stopped watching. I agreed with most of what he said, and this goes with Bill Hicks too.
Mhm.
I agreed with it was really more of a social commentary than it was comedy, because I'd watch it and I'd be just like, yeah, fucking what he said, and I'd be like, where's the laughs? Like, I'm not laughing at this. This isn't funny. I agree with it. I think it's genius writing and stuff, but is it comedy?
Yeah. Bill Hicks, definitely. Like his
Yeah.
last special was just like him,
Sour, yeah.
just getting everything out,
Yeah.
which he like it made sense. He deserved everything he said. He got fucked more than like most comics, I feel.
Yeah, but a lot of those comics they fucked themselves too.
You think so?
Like, the world wasn't against Bill Hicks. I mean, Bill Hicks did shit like, you know, with Letterman, the thing was his set was pre-approved, and then he fucking changed it, and Letterman's like, dude, what the fuck? You're killing me here. What are you doing? You can't do that to me. Fuck you. You know, I'm a fucking artist. Like, it's like there's, you know, Letterman's got his job to do too. You know what I mean? Johnny Carson had his job to do too. You can't just come on, have something pre-approved for national television. And there was only 3 channels. You know, there wasn't like, you know, it is today.
Yeah.
All this stuff had to be pre-approved. And then Hicks would go out and, you know, talk about whatever the fuck he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But you fucking people over, man. That's going to bite you in the ass. You can't get away from that shit.
It was his beliefs, you know, like the whole, oh my God, when he got like denied Leno appearances and then saw
couldn't trust
the
him.
Dorito
Yeah.
commercial with Leno. Have you heard his bit about Leno and the Dorito commercial?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my God, where he's like, you know, blowing his head off with an Uzi, you know, and the blood paints an NBC peacock. So he's a company man to a bitter fucking end.
Yeah. But he's such a cunt because you know he would have become a company man.
Hicks?
Had he hit.
You think so?
Yes.
I don't know.
Had he hit like he should have, goddamn right he would have been doing commercials.
Oh,
You're
dude.
fucking right he would have been doing.
That would be insane. I imagine it. That's a
Disagree.
timeline I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Where Hicks, you know, didn't get cancer when he was like 30 or whatever.
Pancreatic too.
Yeah.
Jesus. Check
Christ.
out.
Tripped like the day before he died.
Yeah.
Too. Now,
but I mean, George Carlin, you know, he had his own TV show on Fox, and they made him look silly.
Yeah, and that was
how did Carlin
one.
allow that to happen to him? The money. If a TV show was offered to Hicks back in the 80s,
done it. Yeah, he would have done it.
He would have done it.
Well,
you think he's going to do what Bill Hicks wants to do?
Yeah.
That ain't fucking happening.
Was Carlin doing like commercials though?
I don't know if he was doing commercials.
Yeah,
but he did do the TV show.
Yeah,
I actually thought it was pretty good. But
I there's all the episodes are on YouTube.
Oh,
and I thought like it was a little rough because it's not a Carlin show. It's just sitcom insert comic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Norm, the Norm show or whatever. Now I'm just, you know, we won't do this all night, but I'd love to know, like, you know, the comedy in the 80s must have been, and the 90s must have been amazing. Do you have any like favorite memories and stories from like the scene back in the day?
God, I have so many.
Any that stand out to you?
You know how they say you never remember the great shows, you remember the bad ones though?
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of bad shows that I remember. And, you know, like I said earlier, a lot of driving home in tears. Like, people don't understand what comics go through to make that. It's fucking so hard, man.
It is. Brian, the advice he gave me, it wasn't that specific advice you were telling from, you know, back when we were talking about. The advice he gave me that I think he got from you was, he told me, like, you're not knighted as a comedian until you have that ride home.
Yeah.
You know, that makes you want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
It's like once you have that ride,
you
know, and you wake up and the second you do comedy after that, you are knighted.
Yeah.
You know, because if you can do that, you know, you're in.
I remember it's funny, like, it's weird, like 30 years I've been doing this. 30 fucking years. I remember segments of time. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah.
Like, I remember my, 9 years at the Comedy Store. I remember every day, every fucking comic, every fucking joke, it was just, and even the improv, when all the lights went out on me at the improv. And,
what do you mean?
Oh,
the lights went on?
There's.
Or you're just bombing and they just flicked the...
No, the lights actually went... There's this fucking comic. He had all these musical instruments on there, and there was a fucking power surge, and the fucking lights went out while I was on stage. So...
fucking prop comics.
So I became a prop comic that night. I grabbed a flashlight from one of the fucking bouncers, and I started doing jokes with flashlights. So there was Freaky Mondays was like it's like Def Comedy Jam.
Uh-huh.
It was black, and it was hardcore. wasn't black people. It was gangs, Bloods, Crips, like fucking hardcore. Tuesday nights, the Comedy Store had that. It was called Fat Tuesdays. And, but they were packed every fucking week. Both shows were fucking packed. So there were only like 3 white guys at the Improv do Freaky Mondays. It was me, Honest John, and Josh Wolf. You know Josh?
Yes.
You ever heard of Josh Wolf? So we were the 3 guys that they would allow to do it. Of course, we took the bullet, get the sacrificial white guy out of the fucking. I go on stage, the fucking lights go out. So I said, I grabbed the fucking flashlight and I said, here's my impression of this guy on the way home. I said, step out of the car, please, sir. It was, this black guy sitting in the fucking front row and I'm fucking killing. You know what I mean? Like I'm actually getting laughs with no lights on in the fucking place. And then my big thing was Fire Marshal Bill from In Living Color.
Okay.
The Jim Carrey.
Oh yeah.
Character.
Yeah. Okay.
I dead on impression. And in the black rooms, that shit fucking annihilated because it's in living color. You know what I mean? And I did that and I was fucking killing. But what a fucking battle. It's just like, dude, I'm the white guy at a gang show and the fucking lights go out. Like, what else do you want to throw up against me? The fuck do I get out of this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you must have felt. Did you feel good after that? Because it's like
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I walked out with my head hanging high.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I did it.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah.
Because the room alone,
it was hard.
Plus, they can't even fucking see you.
It was hard. Yeah.
Wow.
So you remember that shit. I remember certain things that happened. Like I was on stage one night. This is in the OR at the Comedy Store. And the bouncer comes in and he's screaming and yelling. The whole room is getting up and fucking leaving. So his name was Chewy. He goes, anyway, get out of here. Get off stage. And I'm like, Chewy, what the fuck are you doing? You get off the fucking stage. Get out of here. And I'm like, fuck you. What are you doing? The whole audience is getting up and leaving. Like it's packed. Like I finally have a good spot at the Comedy Store. And what is this shit? Turns out a dude across the street at the House of Blues was firing a gun, ran across the street, and was hiding in the Comedy Store in the original room.
Wow.
So he's sitting in the fucking corner. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. So I come off stage. I'm fucking furious. And I go walking, to the front after Chewy, find out what the fuck his problem is. And all the sheriff's departments fucking coming up the front stairs, fucking threw me aside like I was a fucking napkin. And they fucking were drawing on this guy who was sitting there. It was fucking madness, And this is the shit that happens at the Comedy Store every fucking night.
Wow.
There's something. So I remember shit like that.
Holy shit.
I remember opening for Dice and getting hit in the face with an ashtray. You know those square ashtrays that were really thick glass?
Yeah.
Remember those ashtrays?
Yeah.
That's what them. Yeah, that's what they had at the Comedy Store. And I'm up there and opening for Andrew Dice Clay, ask any comic, ask Amy Schumer, Jim Norton. And it's the worst job in Hollywood. His fans are so fucking rabid. They want Dice. They don't want you. Like a friend of mine, Wheels, he opened for him at Madison Square Garden. You know what he did? He stood on stage eating a bag of chips. Because they're just going to boo you and fucking scream for Dice. Yeah. So he just fucking stood there with fucking,
You're just like a dead man standing.
You're dead man standing.
Yeah.
So I'm up there. I'm a young comic. I'm still trying to, I still do this. I treat every room like it's a Van Halen reunion. I pretend it's fucking packed and I try to fucking do my best.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. And I was trying to do my best. And in the original room, I don't know if you've ever been there, everything's black. The walls are black, the floors are black, the tables are black, the curtain's black, the stage is black, and there's just 4 lights that come down on you. And they're white lights. It's like you're a French fry at McDonald's in the fucking thing there, and you're just up there cooking. But everything's black, so you can't see anything. You can see like the front row. That's it. You can't see anything. I couldn't see this ashtray till it was way too late. And it hit me square right between the eye. Fuck you, where's Dice? And I'm like, fuck you. And I'm trying to find something to throw back at him, but I don't even know who the fuck threw it.
From the void.
You know, and they're like, dude, your face is bleeding. Christ.
Jesus.
And then there was another night. I just had my wisdom teeth pulled, all four of them, right? I had them pulled on Friday. It's Sunday night, and I'm just hanging out. I'm not going on stage because I can barely talk. So Mitzi pulls me aside. She goes, would you get up there and wake these people up? I'm like, Mitzi, I can't talk. I fucking, I get the wisdom teeth. She goes, you're next. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So they bring me up next because I was like high energy. You know what I mean? So she wanted me to go wake the fucking people up. So I go up there and I'm struggling like a motherfucker. I can barely fucking talk. So I go into my Jim Carrey thing. I'm making the face, and all of a sudden I feel the stitches popping in my fucking mouth, right? So my Fire Marshal Bill turned into a Gene Simmons impression. So it's
that makes sense.
Yeah, you remember shit like that, and you remember the people that come in and out of your lives.
Yeah,
because comedy's not for everybody.
It isn't.
People come from all over the world down to the Laugh Factory, Improv, and the Comedy Store, and they're around for 2 years and they're gone. This ain't for me. You know what I mean? And I remember being homeless and sleeping in the Comedy Store. I remember that. That was about 5 weeks. That was
wow.
Yeah, it was a tough time. Living out of my car, and so yeah, I remember shit like that. A lot of hanging out in the parking lot. That was the best part.
I'm so jealous, man.
Hanging out in
the
the
memories of
parking lot.
that.
You could still see the Kinnison bullet thing in the sign.
Oh, really?
He brought the gun down and fucking shot it. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Magical place.
Part of history,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. They'll
awesome.
tear it down and build condos. It'll be
fucking so sad. So sad. When did you stop doing impressions?
I decided to stop doing them when I moved to Boston.
Okay.
So what was happening was, like I said earlier, all of a sudden I'm a fucking headliner and I'm a feature. And all I was doing was impressions. So I had to slowly get those out of my act and talk about what I wanted to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't just like fucking chop it off and go up there and for a half hour or 45 minutes and have no material.
Yeah.
Like, people don't understand. There's a job aspect to comedy. You're getting paid to go up and make people laugh, not to do whatever the fuck you feel like doing. You know what I mean?
A lot of people, they've been doing it like a year and they think they're fucking like rock stars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Think they're Bill Hicks.
Yeah.
Fucking saw it last night.
Yeah.
This one guy thought he was fucking Bernie Mac. Like, hey, come on, dude.
You got to be humble, I feel. That's why, like, anytime you give me like advice, or if you're like, hey, don't do that tag or don't do that, I'm like, yeah, okay, 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm still figuring shit out. And I feel like, unfortunately, so many comics in the in just the scene just have, their egos are so big.
Yeah.
Where they just can't take advice, or they can't take even the banter, you're talking about in New York, that doesn't really happen. Everyone's so like, their egos, I feel, are so fragile.
Yeah.
It's all this Facebook bullshit people argue about, you're ruining comedy because your showcase got less than 10 people and stuff.
It's all bullshit,
you're booking
man.
this guy, fuck you. It's
now what they should have written was, oh, you're a real goddamn fucking draw. 10 people, fucking loser. That's what my people would write. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You suck.
And and it's like, as someone who's been doing it like a little over like 2 years, like I did my first mic in 2017.
Okay.
But like, I've been doing it for real for like a little over 2 years. Like right when I was done with college, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And I want to always perform. Like, there's never a time when I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like performing today.
Right.
It's usually just the drive or some bullshit attached to it. But it just really, the thing that gets me down the most is the community aspect, you know. And then
it's
here,
really changed, and not for the
Yeah.
better. Not for the better. I ran into I did a gig 2 weeks ago, and I ran into an old school 80s comic. He was headlining the show. And it was just good to see him, and just, I could talk to him as a comic. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And, you know, the opener was up there, and the two of us were just rolling our eyes and fucking going, remember when we were that guy? We were just like, yes, fucking, it's brutal. But a lot of comics don't remember being that guy and sucking. Nobody walks on stage and it's just fucking bang. Okay, he's got it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen like that.
I would like, can't you? I feel like there are those people though who just have so much charisma.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, that catches up with them, because I feel like there are those comics who start and they actually like start pretty good.
Yeah.
But they're just such a people person, and they're
Mhm.
used to talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those people never really do anything, because like, oh, I got it, you know. Where I feel like if you have to suck to really like squeeze your perspective out of you.
They're not taking the bullet.
Oh yeah. There we go.
You can
the
tell.
bullet.
You can tell.
Yeah.
These people, you're right. They have this charisma, and they have a smile. Or you ever been to done a show, and there's all white people in the audience, and there's a black guy on the show, and they bring him up, and the white people all go, "Oh, he's a black guy. He's going to be funny."
Yeah.
Well, why? Because he's black?
That happens all the time.
Why?
Actually. Yeah.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
It's like
just people, you know.
but
we're
it's
just all just
unfair.
people.
And it's not helping that black comic.
Mm.
He already has them before he's even opened his mouth. They want to laugh.
Yeah.
The shit might not even be that funny. Like, you know what? Why all these, you know, like famous comics, like Louis C.K. will show up at a fucking open mic somewhere. They want neutral audiences. They know anything that comes out of their mouth in front of their crowd is gonna work.
Yeah. I heard Louis C.K. When he was putting together his new hour, his recent one, he did clubs in Australia.
Yeah.
Where people didn't even know him.
Yeah.
You know, because he, again, like you're saying,
He wants to know if they're funny.
Exactly.
And he would have on his staff, he would have Nick DiPaolo, Chris Rock, and somebody else. Not to help him write, to tell him if it was funny or not.
Yeah.
He paid them a salary.
That's how you do it. That's
Yeah.
how you do it.
Dude, is that funny? And they're friends. They'll be honest with them. No, you're cheating. You know? Or, yeah, there's something. Why don't you, maybe try it from this angle or like whatever. Not really writing, maybe a little bit, but being honest when you get to that level is so valuable, because you could, like, Seinfeld's been doing it for fucking years. Like his last tour, he was doing all his fucking old jokes from the TV show.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
What's the point then? Because I feel like you kind of, if anything, do half and half. Because I think I saw this somewhere where it's like, if you go see a comic, if I go see a legacy comic, and they do all their old stuff, it's like, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't need to see that comic again.
Right.
I saw them.
Right.
That was what they have.
Right.
Or if it's like a bit of both, or if it's just new stuff, then it's like, I want to, see what they have next and that's how I feel with it.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain comics that have such legendary bits that if they don't do it, those people are pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
crazy.
What's his face does, Dice battled this for years when he stopped doing the nursery rhymes.
Yeah.
People are like, fucking the nursery rhymes. Dude, I'm past that. That's like, I got new shit. You know what I mean?
Now his stuff's completely different.
I heard his current tour is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
The shit he's doing
I want to
awesome.
see him. I want to see him so bad. Now, this has been awesome, man. I really appreciate you.
Hey, anytime, man. I'll talk comedy and music.
Yeah. No,
Anytime.
we'll definitely do a part 2
Yeah.
at some point. This was awesome.
Everybody pay attention to Def Leppard.
Yeah.
Pay attention to Def
Now,
Leppard.
is there anything before we wrap this up you want to plug? Cantankerous?
Yeah, Cantankerous podcast. Check that out. Me and Brian Glowacki, we just, two comics talking shit,
Yeah.
basically. Where am I fucking, when's this coming out?
We'll figure that out.
Oh,
after
okay.
this.
Yeah, just fucking, look me up. You'll find me.
Danny
I
Kelly.
got Danny Kelly
on
Comedy.
Facebook,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, DannyKellyComedy.com. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see what's up there.
We'll get you on again. This was a lot of fun. Thanks.
This
man.
is great, man.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is great. I love
Nice
talking.
little mobile setup we got here.
Yeah.
Your own fucking living room.
Yeah, it's my home that's kind of under construction right now, but fuck it.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
It's,
It works. Well, I'm Brandon Battick, and this is Disturbing. The
Thanks for
Priest.
having me. Disturbing.